let's go. Woo, third gear. Fourth gear. Damn. Can never get bored of this. Now, I'm pretty sure this car needs no introduction because it's possibly one of the best driver's car you can get out there for an affordable price that looks like a sports car. It has two-door, it's lightweight, it's low, it's rear-wheel drive, and most importantly, it has a 6-speed manual transmission gearbox, which that combination, boys and girls, makes up for a pretty good driving experience. Now, I've already driven this car for 1 week and over 600 kilometers. I took it for long distance traveling. I got stuck in a heavy traffic jam in KL. I took it for the blast on the highway, and I even took this for some twisty roads where this car is good at. And let me tell you this, I got so hooked to driving this car that I didn't even bother looking at the notifications on my phone, which you shouldn't while driving. And yeah, it's so fun, it's so engaging to drive that at some point I actually felt, wait, did I regret buying the BMW 3 Series instead of this car? More on that later. So yes, without further ado, let me share with you my 1 week ownership with the Subaru BRZ. But first, let me just give you a one walk around tour of this car. Let's go. Now, when this car just launched, I wasn't really a fan of it because this car actually looks quite tame as compared to the previous generation BRZ. But over time, I actually started to grow to love it because of its modernized look. So from the front, you can see is this updated headlights, which is nicely smoked out. It's so aggressive. You have this daytime running light here, which runs from the side. And notice this silver piece here, right, which says BRZ. So this one on the GR86, they actually don't have them there, which my friend actually owns. It's a very cool comparison to see, all right? And then this car, right, the front bumper also is different from the GR86. So if you look at this car is more of a smiley face and it's a lot of vents and a lot of crease around, whereas the GR86 has a much cleaner look. Yeah, very interesting differences. Okay, now as you head towards the side, this car comes equipped with an 18-inch wheel. So this one is a matte satin grey finish. Yeah, actually looks kind of cool already. Then you also have fender vents here. Basically, the air actually escapes through here for aerodynamic. Just take a look at the silhouette or the side profile of the car, guys. Doesn't this car just shout sports car? It's so low, it's so tiny, it has two doors. Yeah, really, really cool. And one thing I noticed also, right, if you take a look at the roof here, right, you notice there's actually a double bubble style. The middle actually is indented because this is for you to have more headroom when you sit inside. Yeah, interesting detail right there. And I just love the rear haunches here. Just take a look at how muscular this area here, the rear fender arches that sticks out. I love it so much, okay? Then I also love this as well, the integrated boot lid spoiler. I always love cars with this because it gives it a very sleek and clean look without being over the top with a massive rear wing. Yeah, it looks so nice with this angle. Okay, so if you head towards the back, you will now have the new LED tail lights, which has a C-shaped style here. Okay, it looks so nice, especially at night. Okay, the BRZ, Subaru. Right, and at the bottom, you have dual exhaust tips. So these are the reverse light. You also have the fog light as well. And one thing I noticed below, you look at exhaust, right, there's actually some blue color part, which reminds me of titanium. But yeah, this car will actually sound much better with a proper exhaust system. This one is a little bit too quiet for my liking. All right. Okay, now to check out the boot, right, the boot button is actually under the reverse camera. So this one right here, give it a press and open up. Okay, now as you expect, because this is a sports car, you don't expect much of a luggage space inside. So that's all you get inside here. You got a full-size spare tire here. Okay, now this is a UK spec. My friend one is a Japan spec, and what's interesting, right, his one comes with a Space Saver tire, which is much smaller, but it comes with a cover, so it's flat, where you can put more things inside. It's a really interesting comparison to show between the UK and the Japan spec, and also the GR86 versus the BRZ. All right, okay, so now let's head inside and show you the interior. Okay, to enter the car, so this is the keys for it. Pretty normal Subaru key, so you can press unlock here, or you can just put the keys in your pocket. So this one has basically keyless. You put, it unlocks, it detects, you can open up. But every time you open, right, it gives you a sense of occasion that you're entering a sports car because you have this, you know, this massive door. You can see it's frameless. Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, then you see the interior. So this one, even though this car, right, you can see the interior, the cabin space is quite low and also quite tiny, right? But surprisingly, it is actually very comfortable to daily, to the point that it's actually not as stiff as as my G20. Okay, even the seats also is quite comfortable. Alright, then you also have this Alcantara finish here. Yeah, the materials they use is not bad as compared to the previous generation BRZ, but of course you don't have the finest or luxurious material here because this car is all about the drive. Okay, you can see these are the seats, right? You have a very nice side bowstring, very comfortable on the lumbar as well. Take a seat inside. Okay, so once you're inside, let me just start the car for the moment. Clutch in, press on this, start the car. You get this very cool animation of the BRZ. Yeah, very nice. Okay, alright, so basically, these are the buttons. One thing I like about this car is that the steering wheel on this car, right, is so tiny. It's very easy for you to maneuver and it gives you a very sporty driving feeling. Okay, so this car inside, it's basically there's nothing much because it's all about the drive. But one thing I love about this car is the screen itself, right? This one, you don't have much, but what you have is at least you have that which is very important. That is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Yeah, these two things matters most for me, right? I feel anything else doesn't really matter. It's just for fun, it's nice to have, but it's not necessary. So at least you have these two things, it's more than enough. And then you have all these physical buttons here. It's very easy to control. This for all your AC. Okay, then this one you can off traction control here if you want to. Alright, so this one, if you hold, it actually changes the instrumental cluster. You press, you can see, yeah, it shows you this track mode, and then the ESC automatically turns off as well. Yeah, very cool. Alright, then you also have this old school style heated seats as well. You have some proper manual transmission gearbox, so you can see it shift. It's actually a very short travel, very short throw, right? Really nice. Okay, there's some proper old school handbrake as well. Then behind here you have some space for your two cup holders. You can close it for a cleaner look. Alright, then at the back, now the back obviously you can't really fit much in terms of, let's say if you want to fit 2% at the back, you can actually, but their leg will be a bit cramped. But this one is more for you to put things at the back. Alright, so this will be your luggage space technically. Yeah, this car inside, it's really nice, right? It's empty, but that's what it's made for. It's all about the drive. So speaking about the drive, now it's time to go out for a drive. Alright, so now I'm currently driving the Subaru BRZ. So I want to share with you my thoughts living with this car for almost a week. So I've already driven over 500 kilometers in this car over the span of just 1 week. Alright, so I've did many long distance journey, grocery shoppings and everything. So one thing about this car, right, is it's surprisingly comfortable. Like literally, I kid you not. This car, right, you sit inside, even though it's low, right, it's very snug. The body, it hugs you well, you won't get backache. Alright, and it's very nice. The position of everything, you have the armrest here, you put your hand here, you put another hand on the gear shifter itself, and the steering wheel is so tiny, right? Everything is just like really catered for the driver alone. Okay, and this car, I'm surprised that the suspension is not as stiff as my BMW G20. That car, it's really stiff. This car, you go through bumps, it's not that bad. Alright, that's one. And another thing would be the visibility on this car, so it's not bad. Alright, because this car is so tiny, right? And you get to see out everywhere very clearly, like on the side, through the side mirrors, the rear view mirror, you get a very clear view outside. Alright, and this car, I noticed, yes, if you ask someone on their opinion if they sit in this car, right, they'll say it's empty. That's right. Because this sort of car is not supposed to have all the finest quality of interior, build quality, the materials and everything. This one is supposed to be a driver-focused car, and the main priority is the drive, like literally. I tell you, I drive this car, right, I wouldn't even play my phone. I would be so addicted to driving this car with shifting every gears, alright? Yeah, this car is really so nice to drive. Some people would also say, like, why would you buy this car when you can buy, you know, the FK8, alright? Those also are their manual, it's very driver-focused car, but nothing beats a car that looks like a sports car. This car is very low, it's very sleek, it attracts a lot of attention, it has two-door coupe style, alright? The looks on this car, right, every time when I park at home, when I come out, I look at it, I was like, wow, I feel very proud. I mean, even though it's mine, but I can understand those owners who actually own this car. Whenever they look at it, they feel very proud because this car, let's admit it, there aren't a lot on the road because most of people wouldn't buy this kind of car for the daily, okay? And also the price point of this is not exactly cheap if you want to buy new, because this car costs around 268,000 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it has a very unique look and design, which as an owner, right, it makes you feel very happy, okay? And every time you look at a car so sporty, it makes you want to go out for a drive, especially with this 6-speed manual transmission. And a lot of people like to complain that this car doesn't have enough power. Alright, last time this car uses a 2-litre NA engine, which is, yeah, that one definitely is underpowered, which is around 197 horsepower and around 200-ish Newton meters of torque. And then you have this very weird torque drop in the middle of the ref range, but now they already overcome it. So this one now is 2.4 litres instead of 2 litre, but it still is the NA flat 4. It's very low to the ground. The center of gravity is quite low, which is why it helps in terms of the stability when you corner hard. Because if you were to add a turbocharger or supercharger on this, right, you add weight onto the car. This car only weighs around 1,200 kilograms if I'm not mistaken, okay, which is the perfect combination, you know, rear wheel drive, 6-speed manual, lightweight, and the weight distribution is 50-50, and you get to do this. Ready? Let's go! Woo! Third gear, 4th gear. Damn! Can never get bored of this. I have to admit, if let's say I have the money, this would definitely be my second car. Yes, next to the G20. So G20 will probably be the daily car. This car will be the weekend car. Now I really get it. Why would people buy this kind of car? Yeah, imagine you take this car to Genting, right? Because this car when you corner is so stable, right? You don't really need to brake or put your foot off the accelerator. It just glides and so planted to the ground. Yeah, I really absolutely enjoy driving this car a lot. But there are also a few things that I don't really like on this car, which is a kind of small thing, alright, once you start living with it. So number one would be the seat belt. The seat belt, I'm not sure is it because I'm short or what, right? Because I push the seats very forward, is that every time you want to reach for the safety belt, you actually have to stretch like that to grab the safety belt, which is, you know, something that every time you have to do when you get inside the car. You have to stretch like that, grab the seat belt, and then once you wear the seat belt, right, I'm not sure why, but it actually cuts your neck, you know, this part here, right, it's kind of irritating that actually how every time, you know, it cuts your neck here, so you have to readjust it back, like push it down a bit. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's only me that experiencing this. Alright, so that's one. The second thing would be the tire noise. Now this one obviously because it's a sports car, right, and I'm actually used to the tire noise because back then my Vios, right, is using a performance tire and it's a low profile, so it's really loud, especially when you drive above 100 kilometers per hour. But I'm actually used to it already, so this one obviously you can't complain much because you have the performance it offers. You really can't complain. Okay, another thing would be practicality. Again, this car, you can't really put much things in the boot, because in the boot you have a full-size spare tire, which is nice, and it's protruding out, so you really can't put anything inside the boot. But if you want, you can actually put things at the back seats here, so the space here is actually not too bad. If you want more space, you can fold the seats down, so you give you the whole flat bed from the boot all the way towards the back here. Okay, I mean, if you really want to daily it, you can actually, yeah, it's actually possible. Alright, another thing would be its turn signal indicators. The way it works, right, it's really frustrating. It takes time to get used to it. Like if you push up, it goes to signal right. If you want to cancel it, you have to push it back down, and you can't push it too hard. You push it too hard, you turn signal left. So you push it down just a bit to switch off. Yeah, so this kind is, you really need to get used to it, but it's a small issue as well. I mean, if you starting the first few days when I drive, you know, I find it very fiddly, but after that, yeah, I'm actually gotten used to it already, so yeah, it's not an issue. But yeah, I really truly enjoy driving this car. I'm really poisoned by this car, if dare I say, or like, you know, being addicted to this car. Every time I drive, even though it's stuck in traffic jam or anything, right, I still feel very, you know, very satisfied, you know, driving this car, right? Like every gear you shift, and because like I said, this car, the power is not a lot, right? So you can utilize the full power. You can use the full ref range before you shift gear, and every time you do it, yeah, the feeling, you know, it just makes you smile, right? This car is literally smiles per gallon, alright? And what's nice is that this car is literally affordable sports car. If you want to buy a sports car, this car is literally it. Because what other cars can you buy that is this sporty? A new car for just under 300,000. but you can also daily as well, or you can take it to toge, or you can corner hard. Yeah, this car, I'm really in love with this car. I've always wanted this kind of car, but you know, I didn't dare to buy it because practicality is actually quite important for me, especially if you only have one car, because I swapped the Vios for the G20, because the G20, it's practical, it has the looks, it has the power as well. But this car, one day I'm definitely gonna get a car like this because I really enjoy driving this car. Wow, what a drive that was. Now this car, right, I very seldom feel emotionally attached to a car, especially when it isn't mine. But this car really got me so hooked and engaged that I really can't really describe how it actually feels to be driving this car, because you know, it has the looks. When you shift through the gears manually, you can carry the speed fast, confidently as well. And at the same time, it's so comfortable for daily. I would say this car is an overall package for someone who wants a car, a sports car that wants to daily as well. Yeah, this car really took my breath away. It left me speechless. Every time I drive this car, it just keeps me wanting to drive more and more and more. Alright, this car is really a car that really opened up my eyes. Why would people actually spend that much amount of money to buy a car like this that is not practical? Alright, but that's not the point of this car, because this car is all about the drive, and it really delivered the drive. This is probably going to be one of the most memorable drive for me, right? Especially in terms of car loan. So yeah, huge thanks to Subaru for loaning me this car. I think in the future, I don't mind having this car as well next to the G20. This one for more like a weekend car, the G20 for a daily car. That would be the perfect duo. Alright, so if you guys enjoyed, please remember to like, subscribe, and share your friends, and I shall catch you guys next time. Ciao.